Welcome to this week's Short Clips. I've heard of some kids this week that have had the question, why did God let COVID-19 happen? That's really a very good question. Let's start with people getting sick. All of us have been sick at some time. We may have had a cold with the runny nose and the sneezing. We probably all have had the flu where we don't feel like eating, and we may have thrown up. Other people have had sicknesses like measles, polio, heart disease, COVID-19, and others. Illnesses have been with us ever since there have been people. Some people get sick and die of these diseases. We can pray to God and ask God to heal these people. Sometimes they get better, and sometimes they do not. And I just don't understand why they don't get better. We are looking at God's creation as humans. There are times that I like to look at God's creation perhaps like I would one of my toys. On the outside, the toy is really cool in the things it can do, but we don't understand how that toy works. I'm thinking of maybe a toy fire truck or a doll that talks and moves its mouth and blinks its eyes. When I was younger, I was curious on how some of my toys worked. I would take a toy apart and look inside. It was then that I understood how that toy worked. I understood how the lights blinked or the wheels turned. God's creation is much like that toy. On the outside, we see this beautiful world and things happening around us, but we don't always understand how our world works. We might not understand why things happen the way they do. Someday, we will be with God and look around with Him and see from God's view how His worlds work. We will be looking at the inside workings of the universe, like I did with my toy, only we'll be doing it with God. In our world right now, God is with us, but we don't always understand how. COVID-19 is an example. We have to try and find how God is with us during these times. Hopefully, what I'm about to say will help you. In the beginning, God gave us the gift of science. As a matter of fact, God taught the first science lesson to Adam and Eve in the garden when He pointed out the different plants in the garden. You can read about this in the Bible in the book of Genesis. God gave us science so that we can better understand His creation. People, doctors, are using God's gift of science right now to try to make medicines to stop COVID and other diseases. God loves us very much, and through God's gift of science, today, we have hope that people will not have to worry about COVID-19 in the future. We see God's good work through people that are trying to find a cure. Thanks for joining me today for Short Clips, and I really hope that this helps you to understand God just a little bit better. Take care.